I recently spent some time browsing No Sleep, trying to find stories which were appealing to me. Most of the stories I read felt like they were trying too hard to appeal to a wide audience. I often find stories which reach the top of No Sleep all fall into the same tropes of making you fall in love with the main character and having some fulfilling ending. This gives the reader a warm, fuzzy feeling, and it makes them feel satisfied. And because of this, these stories always make it to the top. That makes them all feel the same to me. I actually find stories like this a bit disappointing. Common themes and cliches just scream at me a bit too loud to make the stories enjoyable. It seems like they always have characters that are quiet and reserved with perhaps one defining quality, and that character then uses some supernatural ability and wins the heart of the audience right at the end. This is a sort of cheap interjection of the supernatural, and it really subtracts from the story for me. The story I have for today appeared to be, at first, one of these stories. I usually scan a story before reading it to get an idea of the approximate length. This story in particular was very short, and despite that, it still manages to do everything it needs to and avoids feeling overly inflated. It reached the top of No Sleep with over 14.7 thousand upvotes and numerous awards. A link to the original story is in the description. This analysis will reveal the plot, so please read it and then return. The story centers on a nameless narrator and her relationship with her close friend Pauline. The bulk of the events help the reader understand how important Pauline's wedding is to her. She is absolutely in love with her soon-to-be husband. She is so in love, in fact, that we are informed that they make a blood oath to be always together. This inclusion is an important one. It conjures images of demons and magic. The narrator is skeptical, but entertains the idea of asking how they will see each other if one of them passes on. To which Pauline says, "I like to believe we'll both grow wings." Pauline is then built up to be a very likable character, and her love is revealed to be genuine. Then, at the wedding ceremony, the husband-to-be is killed in a car accident, causing them never to be married. Following this, the titular action occurs. Pauline never removes her wedding dress, despite the impracticality of that. As such, the state of the physical dress begins to deteriorate. It goes hand in hand with Pauline's own distress. The dress is torn and tattered, and so is her mind. All of her thoughts are consumed by her husband Aidan's return. This gives the reader a small bit of hope that the mysterious blood oath mentioned earlier may bring about some change. She claims that she feels him close by, and then she vanishes. The characters of the story discover the dress with what appear to be holes for wings torn out the back. That simple description fills you with hope before immediately deflating it in the following lines. The narrator, who was an established close friend of Pauline, had found her dead in the bathtub, hid the body, and manufactured the wing holes in the dress. When I read that, a small smile creeped across my face. What an awesome idea for a story. Up to that point, descriptions had been just vague enough to get us to believe that anything was possible. But in the end, nothing happened. The narrator made it look that way for the peace of mind of those around her. It is a story which expertly plays off the usual formula of a successful no-sleep story. It does so in a very short and concise form. It also plays with society's depiction of love and weddings themselves. The wedding dress is a symbol of all of that. A white dress for the symbol of purity, of heart and of mind, is slowly tattered as the bride falls deeper and deeper into a troubled state. We hope and we want love to triumph all, and for her silly fantasies to reunite them, even through death. The fact that none of that happens makes the story feel icy and cold, but in a way, that is real. It makes us think about the line between fantasy and reality, the very thing which makes horror stories work. It serves to remind us that, in the end, the world that we live in is the only true one, but it can't hurt to dream.